All right. It looks like we are live.
Woohoo!
Right? Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Valentine's live show finale, end party, something.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Yes, add all the words. We are here, and Sarah is late, but she's going to be here. She's doing live things, very important live things. She will be here. So during the live show, we're just going to talk about something. Wait, what?
Nothing.
Oh. Okay. I was like, someone said something. We're gonna talk about some of our favorite stuff. We're gonna, do a giveaway at the end. So stick around. I don't even know who else here. Make sure you say hey if you're here, or send an emoji, or even a heart or something, just so we know you're here. Because I can't see anything because I'm technologically a failure. So, yay! Okay. Okay, cool. So, I guess to start off, as I'm eating candy because I'm rude.
Aw, I feel unprepared now. That's such a good idea.
Eating candy?
Yes.
Go get candy.
I don't have any candy.
Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm very sorry for you. It's just a shame.
Me too.
Okay. So, oh yeah, Whitney's here. Hey. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to ask, how many books have you read this month?
That is a good question.
5.
5?
Cool.
Nice.
I just filmed my wrap-up, so I know that I read 19 and DNF'd one of them really quickly because I didn't like it. So I tried to read 20, but I read 19.
Oh,
just 19. Just 19.
Well, the thing is, because I do weekly wrap-ups as well, so like when I get to the end of the week and I'm like, oh, I only read 3 books this week, and then I get to the end of the month, I'm like, who let me read 20 books this month? Now I have to talk about 20 books in one video. Why do I do this to myself every month? So
I don't have that problem.
I'm happy for you.
I'm trying to count. See, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't keep.
11, 12, 13, 14. 15?
Sweet.
I read 15, but I'm like currently reading 8. Yeah. Currently reading 8 books, but I read 15 books. But a lot of those were graphic novels, so like don't be too impressed there. But they were great. They were great graphic novels. So, did y'all participate in any other readathons this month?
Yes.
For sure.
Kathy, what did you? I feel like you're always doing a readathon.
I did contemporary-a-thon, so I read 8 books that week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. But it was good. Like I always plan for it, and I always know to like cancel social plans because things gotta happen. Yeah.
What about you, Princess?
No, don't mind the tell. He won't leave me alone.
No.
Kitty.
Pet me. Pet me now.
I didn't even I read barely. I only read 5. Oh my gosh, Cat, no.
So relatable.
Really well placed, dinged.
Anyways, I only read 5 books, and I chose not to participate in any other readathons just because I wanted to focus solely on Valentine, and I didn't even do that. So I'm kind of a sucky person. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm not a sucky person. But the point, I didn't read as much as I wanted to, and I didn't participate in anything. And I'm happy I didn't, because the first 3 weeks, which is basically all of fucking February, I was not really doing anything at all. I wasn't feeling anything. I'm pretty sure you guys all know by now and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twitter and stuff. I just could not. Which is fine,
I feel like February is just a hard month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot in February. It's just a hard month, I think.
It's short.
It was
not having much time.
A lot, just in the booktube community, there was a lot going on. And we had the booktube games, Valentine's, Blackathon, Contemporary-a-thon,
Sapphic-a-thon. Yeah, there were so many.
The reread-a-thon was going on as well.
Oh yeah,
it's next month.
Yeah, there was a lot at once. I totally didn't like realize how much was going on because I kind of wanted to do this. I came up with it sort of in like December, and like I messaged Sarah and Lee, and I was like, "Hey, let's do this thing in February." And I'm like, "I can't wait to announce it." And so I held on until like right before midnight, like on New Year's, and I was like, "Here's my announcement video." It was a problem, but it was fine.
It's great. I feel like just to like take a moment here and talk about what you've put together this month, like bringing together all of these different people for Twitter, and like, by the way, I found new booktubers that way, bringing together people through the buddy read roulette, and it was so heartwarming to see like the new friendships that were made. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm a bit of a Twitter friendship stan. Whenever I see booktube people interacting and they're like having a good interaction, I'm like, yes, more friends. And there's a lot of that as a result of your readathon, which is like cool and is no small thing. And like Instagram and like Cupid and just you did all of these things and we like put them together, and yeah, I just thank you for that. And I feel like it had a really positive impact on the community just from what I saw. So that was really, really cool to see. And I'm gonna
That makes me feel warm inside. I know, like, obviously not everybody read is gonna go well, and not every like, not everybody mixes well. And I tried to aim for like 100% on the Cupids. I think there was one situation where someone may not have sent something yet, but I'm waiting on a response. But like for the most part, I feel like most things went like surprisingly smooth, and I feel like a lot of that is just because of so many people wanting to get involved and being so eager to be involved. I feel like that helped so much, and I really wanted to like. I didn't expect so many people to like apply to be like co-hosts, and so I was like, I want them all to do stuff. So. I am bad at decisions, and all of them did it. So I had to like. I was like, I have to come up with something, and I'm really happy that it became what it is, and I can't wait till like next year so I can be a little bit more prepared and I don't know, ready and kind of know what I want it to happen and how to kind of go about it and stuff. I'm really excited about it, though.
So this is definitely going to be a yearly thing because that makes me very excited.
Yes. I
Yay.
have to, because like honestly, I really hate like Valentine's Day.
Hey,
And sorry, I know Princess is like the embodiment of Valentine's Day, but like personally, I hate Valentine's Day. And I just had to make something fun happen because like I don't know, I needed something cool on my birth month of birth, I don't know. So I was excited about it, but Leah, did you participate in any other readathons?
I did. I feel weird that like sometimes when people ask me that question, my brain corrects it to "Did you participate successfully?" which to me means "Did you do all the challenges?" And I didn't, but I did participate a little bit. I did a few challenges from Blackathon, and I did participate in the BookTube games. Although is that a readathon or is it something different? It feels
a competition. It wasn't.
yeah, it's a competition. So I guess in terms of readathons, it would just be Blackathon. Then I'm really struggling with words today.
I think well, I just forgot that the chat was there for a second, so sorry if anyone said anything. I'm trying to like go between. Okay. I participated in Blackathon and I did all the challenges, and then I forgot that I didn't do the poetry thing, which is upsetting because it was like the one I was most excited for. And then I realized that I didn't do it, and I'm like, so after this, I'm gonna like see if I can like find them real quick, but I'll probably forget because I'll be tired. But I might get to them anyway, like later. But I really was excited about Blackathon. I was excited that Jesse was so successful with getting people to participate and getting exposure for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I know they were like they were super super excited about it when they were planning, so that was cool. And then I did BookTube games, which honestly was a huge motivator because I really liked kind of counting my pages every day. Like and it kept me more vigilant about updating it on my Goodreads too, which helped me remind me, hey, you're also in the middle of these 7 other books, so don't forget about them and stuff. So, but I do also think that it made me read some of my like less dense books in the month. But yeah. Well, that was fun though.
I think with the BookTube, I was so like I was so prepared. I was so ready for the BookTube games. I'm like, Team Hogwarts for the win. I don't care. Like, can't nobody nothing. It's like going all the way up into February, and then as soon as February started, it was like douche. Like, nah. Like, no. And like I didn't realize it was happening until it was already in full effect of like you know, feeling like crack and stuff like that. But like I was so ready, and then like a lot of things changed with BookTubeathon, like from BookTube games. I was like, what the fuck? No, but with BookTube games, like things changed, and I didn't know that they changed. So I was like, wait, what's going on? And I was just like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna do what I can do and call it a day. But on the note of Valentine's, though, I am like a freaking romantic person at heart. I mean, kind of. I don't really like people, but kind of, you know. And,
I love you.
A misanthropic romantic.
yeah, I'm like, you know, I don't like romance books, but I like people being in love. You know what I mean? Like, and pink is like hands down my favorite color, and sparkly and red and heart, and I love it. So
cute stuff.
I was excited. I was excited for that. But at the same time, like everything is great. Like you guys did such a good job. And if there was anything to take away from this readathon was that there are so many people who came together that like sent books, like sent their favorite books, and like that connected that never would have connected. Like I've never sent a book to the Philippines before. So I was like, yo, I'm doing that. Like, like
oh my gosh.
I'm
I
sorry.
totally forgot about like we have to.
Am I allowed to say that?
No, you're fine.
You can say what you want.
Oh, we have to like reveal, like we have to remind people to reveal themselves, I guess.
Yeah. I forgot about telling my person.
Hey, princess.
Yes.
I was your person.
What?
I did it. Easy.
I was like, yo, she seems like the Carrie type of person, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, no, I remember reading it as a teenager and really liking it, and I knew that you liked Stephen King, so I was like, I hope she doesn't already have this. She probably does, but another copy.
That's so funny. I've been waiting. I've been like so excited because like I got to send yours out, and I was like, I know who it is.
It's can be sometimes challenging to keep that secret, especially when you know it's gonna be like what they're going to get is good. Like some people were telling me, the host, what they were gonna send, and I was like, you don't want to trust me with that information.
Yes.
Like, oh, but you know, I did it, so I expect some commendation for that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you so much for Carrie. I'm gonna read it in March.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that you sent out being like, I just got a random book. Is this from my Cupid? And then I went on to the Twitter and I was like, yes, it is from your Cupid, but it wasn't me. It was the BT Valentine's Day. I was like,
That's so funny.
And that was like happening as I was doing the sprint, and I was just like, oh, okay.
How did it happen?
Suddenly I made it creepy. Wonderful.
was
That's what I'm
like-
here for.
It was super weird because my husband was like, hey, did you order a book? I was like, no. He was like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
And I opened it, I was like, no, I didn't order Carrie. And he was all like, you didn't do it? I was like, no. He's like, so you got some random people sending stuff? I'm like, I don't know.
I love it so much.
Oh,
Leah, do you want to say yours? Or do you
who I sent mine to?
Or do you want to just tell them?
I think I already told them. I hope I did. And I'm like, oh shoot, I probably need to tell them. I do know who sent me mine though. And I also, because she told me, because I tweeted about it. Yeah, well, wait, no, I didn't tell. Sorry, I've had a day, so my brain is scattered. I didn't tell mine. Mine was Derby, of Derby Lane Reads.
Yay!
And I think she got it. It says it was delivered and accepted by the resident, so I'm assuming she got it. But what I sent her 2 books because I couldn't choose. And I sent The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. And I sent The Firebrand and the First Lady. I think her name is Patricia Bell is the author, I think. I've suddenly I'm blanking. But Firebrand and the First Lady is about the relationship between Polly Murray and Eleanor Roosevelt, and it's about their activism and their friendship and some of the tensions between them as well. A really, really great book. I feel like more people need to know about Polly Murray, so that was kind of my way of being like, this person in history, read about them. So I hope she liked it.
I would.
Yeah.
I sent. Let me see. I'm trying to find my person real quick. 'Cause I don't think she's here, which is so I can say it and it still be a secret until I could tell her, unless she sees this later. I don't know. But my person was Kayla from Tales of Kayla, and like I was like not posting about an unkindness of magicians for, like most of the month, and I was like, this is actually painful for me not to post about this book. But
that was like, she's gonna send this book. Like you kept talking about it constantly. I'm like, yeah, I just need to read this book. She obviously likes it. I need to.
Yes. Just saying. I sent her that. I sent her like a pin from Jane Eyre. It's a little like silhouette, and it says, "I'm no bird, no net ensnares me" on it. It's a little lapel pin because I love lapel pins, and I have one too, but it looks a little bit different, but it's like almost the same. But I don't know. Okay, so I'm confused about like my Cupid because like I got like several books anonymously in February because it was my birthday.
It's your birth month, and your wish list is posted.
Yeah, and I was like, and I think
is this my Cupid? Is this my Cupid? Is this my Cupid?
Leah just sent me a message saying I wasn't here yet. So I don't know who sent me all these things.
Yeah. No, it wasn't your Cupid. She tried really hard, and you're going to get it in a couple of days. There was just some male shenanigans happening.
It's okay. It's okay. I legit thought I'd already gotten it, so I got it.
I was wondering. I was like, is she gonna ask? Because normally I've had a lot of people like ask me, and I was like, I wonder if she's gonna ask me, and it was like, no.
That's so funny. I literally thought, because I got the 2 Holly Black books.
The Cruel Prince and the Wicked King?
No, The Coldest Girl in Cold Town and Darkest Part of the Forest. And I didn't know who sent those. And I also got a little green ribbon lapel pin because I love lapel pins, and it's a green ribbon.
Cute.
And that was adorable. And I know Sylvia sent me the I'm Not Crazy, and it's like all those authors and their stories with mental illness in it. But like I didn't know who sent me and also I didn't know who sent me this book, The Dragon Princess. I didn't know who sent that.
That was me.
That was you?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I
oh my gosh.
signed the thing, but I guess I didn't because I didn't, I guess.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I don't. A lot of times, apparently, notes aren't getting like. Every time Leah sends me something, there's no note, and like she's like, I said one.
I haven't
always send
them very often, so I thought I signed it, but if it's also broken, then maybe I did sign it and I didn't do it wrong. Hooray!
Yeah, I'm sure you did, because the first time it happened when I sent her something and she was like, "There's no note," I was like, I could be pretty absent-minded. It was probably me. But the second time I really paid attention. I was like, I am writing this note. I am being intentional. And then the note didn't come, and I was like, oh, so it definitely wasn't me. Amazon is just the worst.
Actually, sorry. I think there was a note with these. There was a note with these.
Okay, so one out of 3.
Yeah. There was a note with those.
The best rate.
So those are good. But the other things I was like, but like I don't know. So I totally thought I already got my Cupid stuff. But it was fun. I like sending gifts. I have a problem though, because like at first I was like, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna buy them and wrap them and then send them in a box and be super like bougie. And then I realized that I have like male anxiety, and not like males, but like male. And so like I am terrified of the post office. And so I just used Amazon, and yeah. And I'm upset because I had like this gorgeous book and this bookmark, and then I was like, this isn't even my favorite book. Why am I sending this? I'm gonna send my favorite book because that's the point. And so that's what happened. And yeah, but it was fun. I really liked doing that. I can't wait to do. Yes, there's a bunch of grannies in the chat. That's hilarious.
Yep. We're all talking
so
about how old we are because we can't remember things.
That's so funny. I have the worst memory right now. Like I can remember anyone's like name at work, and I have like 40 something patients, and a lot of them are in and out, and I can remember everyone's name. But then like when it comes to like whatever word comes next in the sentence, like I'll forget that, and I'll like leave things everywhere, and it's selective. All right, so my next question, because we already said how many books we read, right?
Mhm.
Were there any DNFs? I think Kathy said there was a DNF.
DNF one book, but fortunately it wasn't a book for Valentine's. It was a book for one of my local book clubs, and I just didn't really like it 30 pages in, and I meant to pick it back up, and just never did. So it was The High Mountains of Portugal by Jan Martel, who's the one that did Life of Pi.
Oh, okay.
It's like his other book that came out a couple of years ago, but it was very confusing in the first 30 pages, and from listening to my people at the book club, I'm kind of okay with the fact that I didn't read it, because I don't think I would have liked it if I'd put in that energy, and I had other things to read, so fine with it.
Yeah, totally. Like, there's no point wasting time reading stuff that you don't want to.
Exactly. Too many things to read.
Yeah. Anybody else DNF?
I DNF like my whole TBR. I don't know if that happened.
You win the
I actually DNF'd 2 books right before Valentine's started. I DNF'd Truly Devious and Kingdom of Ash and Briars, not because, before people at me, calm down, not because I didn't like it. I was just like, okay, I need to stop this and start other things. But I have a really bad habit of like forgetting that so then I'd be like, oh, well, what book was that? Like, especially since like I finally counted all of my books and I have like 500 unread books on my list. So I was like, yeah, that's probably a problem. So
yeah, a while ago I had to go through my currently reading thing on Goodreads and be like, oh yeah, I haven't been currently reading most of these things for years. I should probably just take them off. I'm not reading them. It's just not happening. It was like 30 bucks. So I'm like, I'm reading 3 of these. Maybe I'll take the other ones off.
You just leave them on there for you?
Yeah, just forgot about them. It's fine.
Oh no.
Oh god. I'm terrible at updating Goodreads.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of anything I'd like DNF. I DNF'd, I think, 2, but where is it? I lost my thing. Okay, so there was a book called In Darkness that I was reading, and like it was the way it was written was really boring, and like it was like takes place in Haiti, and I was like, I love Haiti. I had a Haitian like teacher for a long time, and she was really cool. And then like my music therapy program in college like did a thing in a trip to Haiti, and like gave like all these instruments to these kids and did some work with them and stuff. And so I thought it was cool. And then I started reading it, and one, it's like not an own voices like story, so I just didn't like it. And then like the way that the story like progressed was just very flat for me. There wasn't like, it was all like flashbacks. There's not really like a story. He's stuck like under a hospital, and so he's not doing anything. Everything that happens is like flashbacks. And so it was that. And then like there's like he connects with this civil rights leader in Haiti, and then it goes through his past too. But it was all just very like linear, and it wasn't really like tense plots and things. I don't know. So that one I kind of DNF'd, and it's like a middle grade book too. So, is it middle grade? I think so. But it wasn't written. I didn't like the writing very much. And then like the other one was not like, I didn't DNF it because I didn't want to read it, but I started it on audiobook and I hated the way it was narrated. And that was the where did it go? The Black Leopard Red Wolf. I'm really excited about reading that book. I really am, because even though a lot of people say the things that people say they don't like about it are something that I will like about it, but like the audiobook narrator, the extremes in his volumes are so like far apart that like I had to turn it up to hear when he's really quiet, but then like my car is booming with like when he's louder, and so it was just, I couldn't understand what he was saying because it kept doing this and my ears can't process that. Like I couldn't understand what he was saying. And so I had to like DNF the audiobook, and I'm just going to read it physically because couldn't do it.
what are people saying? I mean, like, I bought it when it first came out. I bought the signed first edition of it. Because I saw it and was like, what the fuck? Why not?
Yeah.
But, like, what are people saying about it?
A lot of people say it's just like really bizarre.
Like Alice in Wonderland bizarre? Because I'm
like,
gonna get the fuck out of it right now before.
Have you read or watched American Gods at all?
No.
Okay. I think it was the novel Lush. I think she was saying there's this really like bizarre scene at the beginning of American Gods that happens, and like I don't know how to explain that. A woman basically swallows a man but doesn't use her mouth. But
yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that scene until just now.
Like, you know, like Thanos swallows some people?
Like they're, you know, intimate. They're intimate, and then like he just disappears. Like,
she kind of absorbs him.
Yeah, she's like a goddess of like
sacrifices himself to her.
Yeah, she's a really cool character. That scene was just like, did that just happen? And so Novel Lush was saying that it had that level of weird in things that she was reading. And then I think other people just like they were saying like something, it kind of lost them, the plot lost them or something like that. But I really like plot driven stuff, so I feel like I don't know, I'll find out if I actually like it. But Neil Gaiman blurbed it, and I was like, yes, that's
sometimes
part of the
he's
reason.
led me astray, though. I'm so sad about that. So
sad.
Yeah, some of his blurbs have not been books that I've liked. I've heard one thing I've heard about that book is that it's overwrought. Like I've heard that the writing is I don't know if purple's the correct word. I haven't read it, but that's what kind of the reviews I've been reading have said.
The writing's like it's
prose.
Like it's I think another way that I think about it is that it's trying too hard to sound smart.
Oh, I see.
And to sound descriptive and, you know, put a lot of imagery in. And that's when it, although the phrase purple prose, I feel like has become, it used to be like only a negative phrase when I was growing up. That's how I remembered it. But now people sometimes refer to it in a positive way. And I would just call something lyrical that is. Anyway, this is a side tangent that's not related. I'm cutting myself off now.
It's okay. But like purple prose, also people like will describe Strange the Dreamer as being like purple prose a lot because it's just very metaphorical and things like that. But I pretty much picked it up because Neil Gaiman blurbed it, and he also was pretty, and that's who I am. And it was really pretty, and it said it was like kind of like a fever dream kind of thing, you know, and I was like, I need that. But like also like the last book I bought that he blurbed is like the best thing I've ever read in my life. So like I
love how it already in your hand. It never leaves your hand.
I feel like I need a whiteboard that's just like days since Kate mentioned it. It will always be at 0. I'll never have to change it. It'll become a piece of art on my wall.
I love it. Well, I've had a couple of days under my belt because of this Cupid situation, but you know, we're back, we're back to the normal here. Let's see. No, you didn't. Of course I did. I always do.
It's just it's never further than an arm's reach from you at all times.
I know, it's literally
a security blanket.
I love it. And I finally cleaned my shelves, so now it gets to do like one of those like stick out situations where like it's got like a display, So that one's got one, and my special edition of Darker Shade of Magic and some other books around, Let's see. My other question is, are there any books that you're hoping to finish but you're not finished with yet?
Yes.
What are they?
Now I'm reading and Jasmine's in here. Hey girl. But I am reading Red Rising. I am less than 100 pages done. Like I only have less than 100 pages left, and I plan on finishing today. So when I said I read 5 books, it was including that book because I read that today.
Yeah.
And it is I am kicking myself in the face for not reading this book before.
That is talent.
Before Jasmine was like, hey, let's buddy read it. Because it is amazing. Personally, on my personal opinion, it's amazing. Like, not like 5-star amazing, but definitely 4-star amazing. Because there's just so much like moral grayness and stuff in there. And like you're kind of like rooting for this person to like kill other people, and you're like, that is so rude. Like, I'm just like, what? And it's just so much going on, and I'm just like, why am I just not reading it? So I'm gonna finish today, though. I'm gonna finish.
That's so
You can do it.
I believe in you. I believe in the power of your dreams.
I got this.
Anybody else?
Definitely after that dance.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to finish. I think it's like volume 4. Well, it's not a volume. It's like a part 4 of Sandman.
I love that one.
What?
I think I have that one. Did I read that one yet? No, I didn't. Number 3 was my favorite. I do have number 4.
Oh my god,
I love
I have
those.
so many books on hold at the library, and to be honest, what I ended up reading this month had a lot to do with what came in first. So I think volume 4 will be available in approximately 500 years, and I will be dead at that point. So we'll see what happens there. And the other book is The 3-Body Problem, which I started but was then hijacked by my partner. So I guess I'm just going to wait for that one.
Yeah, I hear you on the whole library hold situation. I feel like managing my holds at the library is kind of a part-time job that I love. And here's my number 1 trick. Go in, put a hold on whatever you want to read, and then suspend the hold so you can wait until you get to the top of the list. And then when you actually want to read it and you don't want 50 books coming at the same time, you unsuspend the hold and then you get it whenever you want. It's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Library tricks.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
I got my library card this month.
Yay, good.
I'm so excited. It was
so cute too.
Yeah, it's got little dinosaurs. I can't wait to make that video too about library cards. I'm so excited.
Yay.
But yeah, no, I was so excited. There were like 4 options. My husband picked like the scene. It was like a little scene, not like, like
scene, emo scene,
but like a scene.
Yeah.
And then there was like one that was just white with a logo, and I was like, why? And then there was a dinosaur, and she was like, so you can pick one of these 4. And I said, I definitely want the dinosaurs. And she just looked at me, and I was like, no, I'm serious. And so then she gave me the dinosaurs, and it was great. But I did owe a fine from high school, so there was that, because I have problems with libraries. But I'm so glad we got cards, because now we can make a regular visit to there instead of regular visits to the bookstore where I spend all my money and go broke.
Agreed.
Yeah,
a lot. But I'm still reading a couple of I was reading American Gods, trying to like finish it, but I'm holding it off because buddy read. And then Neverwhere, I was doing that with Maris, and we both were just like, this month has been a lot. Let's do it next month. So we're doing it mid next month. And then I'm The Assassination of Brangwain Spurge. It's like a really cartoonish, like quirky, like middle grade book. Me and Book Invasion are reading it, but we're saving it for March. And then I'm reading The Spinner of Dreams, an arc of it.
How is that?
It's so good. It's so good. But like it's like I'm reading an e-arc, and this is the first time I've ever read a book on a screen. And so I'm having a hard time with that. But I'm reading it on screen. I have a hard time processing that. But that one's really good so far. It's like a lot of different fantastical elements from like a lot of different like children's stories, or you can kind of see them, but it's really well done. And I've started Priory of the Orange Tree on audiobook, and I'm reading something else. This one, it's about a bunch of people who are like dying in Alaska.
No.
Ooh, I like that.
But they're so cute, even though they're all like.
I mean, I don't like people are dying in Alaska, but I
yeah,
like
it's like people dying in Alaska. Ooh, I like that. And I was like, that's a weird time to cut in. Okay.
It's really good. It's a good.
I learned something new about Leah today. It's fine.
No,
die in
I don't want people to die in Alaska. Some of my favorite people live in Alaska.
It's gonna be like the Scooby Doo. Was it 2 or 1 where he's like, I think Coolsville sucks. The one that's on my own is
Yes, that is like the best intro ever.
Such a good intro. I think Coolsville sucks, but it's gonna be, oh, I love that. People dying in Alaska.
No.
Oh no.
I don't want this to follow me around.
We'll delete it. We'll hunt it down. I'll get my husband to hack things. He can sort of do that. I wonder
Appreciate
if
it.
Sarah's gonna make it. Is she gonna? I hope so. Okay, so my next question is, were you able to black out the board, or were there challenges left over?
Oh yeah, you know I blacked out the board. That's my goal in life.
That's how you
always
do.
to black out the board. Yeah.
Anybody else?
So at the beginning of this this readathon, I predicted that Kathy would black out the board and I would stroll in having done the challenges pell-mell, and that is precisely what I did. I think I got one bingo purely by luck. So
I love it.
expectations have been met on both parts. Congratulations, Kathy.
Yeah. You know me, and you know you, and you. Yeah. You got it right.
I don't want you. Go away.
Cat problems.
I know, he's so spoiled. But anyways, I did not do my triangle like I wanted to.
Oh no.
Do my triangle. I have no idea. Like, I probably could actually. Actually, you know what? I read 5 books, or in close to 4 books. I can probably put some stuff on there, probably.
Yeah. Bring up the board. Take a look at it.
I can probably do that.
Please do.
The return of the
Awesome. Let's see. I think I posted my board at some point. I posted it, and I had all of them done, except for
The picture thing, right?
Yeah, the picture thing, which I just took pictures for every single Instagram challenges, like before I got on the live stream. So I'm posting them all tonight because I'm terrible at like spacing out my Instagram posts because I don't want to do that. And then the writing a song about your book, I actually forgot that I have written one. I didn't record it, but I have written a song.
Well, that counts. It didn't say you had to record it and share it. It just said you had to read it, so you win.
Exactly. And I am going to record it.
I didn't count that one, but great.
There you go. And I'm gonna do it later. The one that I haven't finished is Puppy Love because I didn't finish the middle grade that I was reading. I was reading a middle grade, like I was reading several middle grades, but I didn't actually finish any of them. So
that is so nice. Thank you. You love your middle grades.
I know, I love middle grade books. So I mean, unless I can read like 200 pages of the Spinner of Dreams tonight, then, and I don't want to rush that because it's an arc, and I would like to like read it. It's the first time like I've read an arc, so and it's something that's important. So I'm just gonna do that one. I'm just gonna go with it. And the one that I thought I would complete first is the one that I didn't. So unless I'm gonna look on there and see if there's anything that was middle grade. But I'm pretty sure none of my books that I read were middle grade. So, I think because I don't even think any of the graphic novels were really considered middle grade.
Well, while you do that, I do have a question for you guys, or you ladies, and everybody in the comments and stuff. So, Leah, do not hate me, but I did not like Ocean at the End of the Lane at all. I know, I'm sorry.
I don't mind. I'm not gonna hate someone for not liking a book that I liked.
I left the end of the book like confused of what the hell was happening. I was like, I don't understand what happened. So my question for y'all is, I have Neverwhere and Good Omens and American Gods and probably one other book by him. Did I waste my money, or should I keep giving? Should I give him another try? Because if all of his books are like that book, I already know I'm not going to like it probably.
So I figure it depends on what you didn't like about the book. If you didn't like that it had kind of that fantastical element, but was mostly contemporary, then you might not. Yeah, you definitely won't, because pretty much everything he's ever written has some kind of fantastical element. I felt that Ocean at the End of the Lane was very similar to the fantastical elements of like Coraline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was great in my opinion. His other books, it really depends, especially with Good Omens, because that one he co-wrote with Terry Pratchett. So a lot of it is very Pratchett-y as well, which I don't know if you'll get on with, but he is like very sarcastically funny in the very classically English way.
Okay.
And it's a mixture of both of their writing styles. So it really depends. I really like it. And of course, the TV show is coming out. So I'm just like, can it be out now? Can I watch it now? I want to watch it so bad. It's going to be great. I'm going to love it. American Gods, I read like over a decade ago because I'm old. And I remember really enjoying it. I think it might be the one you would enjoy the most because it has fantastical elements, but also it's a lot more rooted in our world, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if I explained
And
anything.
Nancy Boys is too, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet.
I love fantasy, so I have no problem with like the magical, fantastical element to it. I just was so confused what the hell was happening. I was like, wait, hold on. Who is this demon lady and why is she attacking me? Like, I'm just like, and then like the girl and her mom and the grandma, and I'm like,
There's a lot that isn't explained in that book. And it's definitely more, because I think some of it has to do with like, it's a bit of a reflection, a little bit, not quite, of like on his childhood and also on grief and kind of growing up. And so it has some of those qualities of kind of absurdity, like parts where he like pulls kittens out of the ground. And a little bit, I also wondered. Some people are saying Stardust, and I was going to recommend that as well. I think you might enjoy Stardust.
I agree with that.
Even though I do think that like as a writer, I think Gaiman has grown a lot since Stardust. But the concept behind Stardust, every time I think about it, I'm a little bit, something's so good, you're like a little bit upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how? You thought of this and I can't. Like I didn't think of this, and it's a really solid concept. Have you heard of Stardust, Princess? So basically the crux of this story is it follows this boy named Tristan. He lives in this village where there's this wall around the village that you're not allowed to go over, and they're kind of magical things that are alluded to, and you kind of witness a little sliver of them early in the book. And at one point he's like in love with this girl, who's like the prettiest girl in the village. She's a little bit snobby, and he wants to get her attention. So one day they see a shooting star, and he basically is like, would you marry me if I got that shooting star for you? And she's of course like, you're never going to. I'm going to marry like a hot buff dude over there, whatever, go do it, Tristan. And he's like, okay, I am. And so he like hops over the wall, and it's about what happens after that. And I can't remember if the blurb reveals anything about the star. I don't want to give anything away. Okay. But it's great.
It's really good if you like that adventure aspect of fantasy too, because there's a lot of like adventure.
Yes.
Consider it bought. I'm just gonna buy it. But I knew that one of his books has something about evil gods, and I didn't know which one it was. I was like, is it good?
American God. Well, that's most of them, let's be honest. Yeah. But American Gods is probably the one you're thinking of.
American Gods is very much like, hey, there's the gods of old, and then there's the new gods, like things that we worship now, like technology and like television, whatever, things like that. And so American Gods, it does have a lot of like symbolism and things that you like. If you have like some mythology knowledge, it actually helps understand like what's happening. I really like Neverwhere though. Stardust was like, when I read it, I was like, this is my new favorite. And then I read Neverwhere, and I'm like, ha, psych. And and reading Neverwhere, I've read it before, and then I read the introduction of the illustrated version that I have now. And that one, in the introduction, he talked about how he wanted it to be kind of like an adult Alice in Wonderland. And it kind of is. It's like an adult Alice in Wonderland, but it's grittier. I don't want to say like darker because that has a connotation where it's like annoying to me now. Like it's grittier though, and it's a little bit more disenchanted of, even though it's like one, like all these fantastical things that are happening, it's a little bit disenchanted, and it's kind of like not so much going to another world, but seeing that it's right where you are, like it's in your world. You can kind of see a little bit. For me at least, I saw how I know Victoria Schwab is a little bit inspired by Gaiman with certain things. And I can see a little bit of elements from The Dark Shade of Magic from Neverwhere, to be honest. But it's real good.
I already bought them, so they're mine. And so I'm going to read them and stuff. But I was just like, I probably shouldn't have bought all these books if I didn't like that one book. But I just wanted to talk to y'all about it real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt the Valentine. Continue. But I was
good.
I was like, I don't know. And they obviously know, so I don't know.
I just will have the discussion.
Also, can I just say, like, Kathy, I continue to be impressed by how, like, quickly and succinctly you're able to talk about books in a way that really captures, like, what they're about. And, like, when you were talking about the different qualities of all of Gaiman's books, I was just like, oh, man, this is, like, another level. I don't know how you do it, but it's something I really love and appreciate about you, so.
It's super impressive.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yay.
Let's see. Were there any what was your favorite reading challenge on the bingo board? And this is for people in the chat too. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, let me see.
I gotta look at mine.
My favorite was the one. What was it? It was like your friend's favorite, or like your.
Oh, the five stars.
Yeah.
No, that was my favorite because everybody's favorite book is like Strange the Dreamer, and I already read it once, and so I was like, yes. So then I read it again, and
perfect.
So I really need to do that. But so I read that, and then now I'm reading Red Rising, which is Jasmine's favorite series. She loves that series, so I'm reading that. And I think that was. Oh, I read book 1 of Saga.
Yeah, so. I read that too.
Wow, you really nailed that challenge. You did a triangle of that challenge because you did it 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah, there you
go.
No.
That's funny.
I really appreciated the challenge that asked you to read over 400 pages. I can't remember what it was called. More to Love, I think it was called. Yes. Because during readathons, there's always the like, we're gonna read like the books that are like 200 pages, and then like, especially with a month-long readathon, it's so smart to put a longer book on there because they get neglected by a lot of readathons. And the one I read, I like hands down absolutely loved, and it has been on my list for forever. But because I do all these readathons and I want to get things done 7 books in 7 days style, like it just has been to the wayside for a very long time. So it was good to finally have the space to read that and feel like I was checking off boxes on a bingo board. So thank you.
That's awesome.
What about you, Leah?
Oh, that's hard. I think we came up with a lot of good challenges. I think maybe Library Lovers Month, just because I love my library. Yeah, and I just love libraries, period. I think they're such a great resource, and anything that brings attention to them is so cool. It was interesting. I guess this is kind of a side note. I didn't realize this. So my partner's from the UK, and I mean, I'm not super aware of the library system in the UK, but when he came over, he was surprised by how many things happen in the library here, how many different services they provide. And I think libraries as a concept are so cool. Like, you can go there and you can access all this information and it's free. And then there are people there who want to help you access the information. Like, wow, it's so cool. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm glad that we gave a little bit of love to libraries this month.
I totally agree. I like to, I do one group with my patients where we talk about like resources in the community and stuff. And I always like to mention libraries because like some of them want to get back into working and they have like computer skill classes and like how to do taxes and things like that. And I think it's also a good way to like meet people and, you know, make friends and socialize. So I thought that was cool. Ours has like had a D&D like starters thing recently, and I wish I hadn't missed it because I've been trying to start D&D forever, and I'm terrible.
That's
So
awesome. That's
I don't
great.
even know where to start with that. So I'm excited about that. But my favorite challenge, I think, was the one that I actually forgot about. One of the ones I forgot about until the end, and that was the To the Ends of the Earth, and it was the translated book. Because like I have a bunch of like books that were translated from other languages, and I didn't finish the one that was translated from Portuguese. I think it was translated from Portuguese. Either that or it has a Portuguese translation. I don't know, but I ended up reading The Art of War for that because it was like this big, and it was translated from.
Like I hear it's like a classic, like it's essential read nowadays or something.
Yeah, it's just like it's basically just bullet point tips about how to battle.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it was really fun. There was something. There were sections of it's like if your men are gathering water and they drink first, then they are thirsty. And I was like, I mean, good point. I can't argue with that. And it's got some things in it that just made me kind of laugh.
I feel like some of them might have been like, you know, when you're writing things that you think people should know, like strategically, things to remember, and you're thinking of all these really lofty ones, and then you watch it happen live, and you're like, wow, I guess people need to be reminded of this too, and you have to like write it down. I feel like that's what that was. You're just like, I guess.
Absolutely. I feel like they were trying to like remind leaders that, hey, just watch out because you might not be paying attention to the needs of your people. And then it had like a section on like fire, attack by fire. And I was thinking at first, I was like, guns. And I was like, wait, no, they're literally talking about setting places on fire. So, but it was really interesting. I thought it was kind of cool. And a quick read that I read last night. So that was good. That was nice. I want to see if did anybody in the chat say what their favorite challenge was?
Some people liked Where You Go, I Go, which is always a fun one.
That one was fun too. I liked
More to Love.
Mm-hmm.
I liked More to Love. I liked the I think my favorite thing to do was the Sharing is Caring, doing a book from another readathon.
Yeah.
And I had to include it because there were so many going on. I was like, I need to include this so that way you can check something off pretty easily if you're doing more than one thing. So that was
fun. That was another, I think, a great, an inspired choice. I hope that that's one of the challenges. I don't know if you plan on repeating challenges ever, or if you're doing a bingo board next time. But if you do, I feel like I would hope that one would.
Yeah,
continue.
definitely.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna keep
the same density of challenges.
Yeah. I think next year I definitely want to keep a good bit of these, but not all of them. I want to add something about reading LGBTQIA plus representation. I want to add that in there somewhere. There's a lot of them that I want to keep though, I think, because I do like a lot of them. I probably end up changing like the red ones. You know, the action ones.
Make it a little different.
Right, different activities, yeah.
Because I'll probably change those, and I'll change, you know, like a handful of the others. But like, I think I like a lot of the challenges, though.
Yeah, I also really like doing Love Song because it just turned into such a ridiculous circumstance. I'm like, well, I guess I'm doing this weird thing. Sure, why not?
I love that.
I liked that video. I watched that video. I will watch things on the go, and I will be like, I will come back and comment later, and I never do.
Same.
Great.
I do it all the time. I feel so bad. I'm like, I didn't show support, and then like I never go back because I suck. But the majority of my YouTube videos that I actually watch or listen to, I listen to in the car.
Yeah.
If I'm not audiobooking. So, which let's see. What were what were your favorite? Did I already ask what your favorite read was of the month?
No.
So what was that? Your favorite book that you read this month?
That's hard. I had a good reading month. That's difficult.
Yeah.
So my favorite read for the month wasn't strictly for one of our challenges.
Yeah.
But it's just the favorite thing I ended up reading, which was Jack of Hearts and Other Parts.
Ooh.
It is so good. It's about this guy named Jack. He's 17. He is in high school, in like a liberal New York high school. And his one of his best friends used to be on the like school paper, but got kicked off because she pissed off the principal, basically. So she has her own website now, and she's like, I really want you to write a sex advice column for my website because Jack has a lot of sex. He's not ashamed of it. He has kind of a reputation of being a very big slut because he doesn't want to settle down. Perfectly valid thing to do. He's open with it when he has partners and says, you know, he actually has conversations before going into sex being like, do you want me to become your boyfriend? No? Good. We can continue with this. Those types of things. So on the one hand, it's like super sex positive and he has a lot of sex. And on the other hand, it's this mystery part to it where he starts getting these notes in his locker. And at first they seem like they could be pretty sweet, but no. Friend has a stalker. And it's terrifying throughout the thing because you meet Jack and he's at his prime and he's such a lovely human being, and then you see it slowly stripped away by what this stalker is doing to him. And I loved the crap out of it. And he's also gay, so like all of the sex that's mentioned in it is queer sex. So he talks a lot about anal, he talks a lot about consent, he talks about communication. It's the thing that I've never seen really done in any version of literature, be it YA or contemporary. And it's done with like so much plot to it, which when you see like a lot of really sex positive stuff, it tends to just be like they're doing it all the time on the page, and like nobody actually does it on the page in this. It's just discussed a lot, and I really appreciated it so much.
That's awesome.
Rant over.
That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
What's her name read it in one like when she was for the contemporary thon? What is her name?
Chelsea and Madeline Buddy read it, yeah.
And they really liked it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know which one I liked the most.
I think, if I was to say what book I like the most, I can't really say that because I had 3 4 stars.
Oh.
And Red Rising will be a 4-star, and Enchantment of Ravens will probably be a 3-star. So I will say, like, Saga Book 1 was amazing. It was definitely more than I was trying to read it like in a restaurant, and I had to like set it down covered, and but then like people will see the paper. No, what am I gonna do? Like, so it was really good. And then I read Strange the Dreamer, which was really good. And there was so like rereading it, and I just read it recently. I just read it like not even 6 months ago, and rereading it. There's so many things in the beginning that make so much more sense now that I read the whole book already. So I'm like, ooh, okay. Like that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, because I know about you already. And so it was really good. Red Rising is really good and stuff. I don't feel like Red Rising is for everybody, which makes sense for the people who have negative things to say about it. But I really, really liked it because I really, really like it because I feel like it's a darker like. I didn't know about like the tournament part of it. Not the tournament, like it's not like a tournament, but like the schooling part of it, where these motherfuckers are killing each other. Like I'm like, whoa, like what is happening? But I feel like that's dope and stuff. So like, yeah, I like it. I like the books. Enchantment of Ravens was a 3-star because I don't know, just a 3-star. Fine.
It happens. 3 stars, not a bad rating.
No, it's like right in the middle. You good. Yeah. You're fine. Am I going to read you again? No, but you're fine. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
That's funny. I still don't know.
So I just finished. I started this book like right before I went to bed, and then I finished it today, and that's A Monster Calls. I mean, it's a super fast read. It reads very fast. There's not like, partly because the language itself isn't very dense, and partly because it's not. There aren't. I think it could almost be close to a novella. I'm not sure. And that book made me cry. I was like crying shortly before the live show a couple of times. I really like this book a lot. And since I just finished, I'm kind of processing a little bit why, but I think that was probably my top read, which I guess I'm like helping out all the people who get upset when people post their like favorite reads of the year early, because they're like, there's one more day and you might read your favorite book on that day, and I guess I'm
Yep.
proof of that a little bit.
Yeah, the people are like, it's the beginning of December. These are the favorite things I've read. And I'm like, are you just not reading this month? Because problems with that, I have them.
I totally
My second favorite book of the month actually made me cry in public, if that makes you feel any better.
What was it?
Oh, wow, what was that?
It was Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The premise of the book is these two people have been married for like 9 days, and they're just basically being very excited about the fact that they're married. And she has a craving for Fruity Pebbles, so he goes out to get some and never comes back because he's hit by a car.
No.
So it's all about her grieving and the fact that their relationship was so brief, and people thinking like she should just be able to get over it because she's only known him a very short amount of time. And like, that's not how that works. And it flashes back and forth between like their courtship and like her grieving this situation. And I knew it was going to make me cry in public, but I still went to the pub to eat some food and drink a beer while reading it, and then like made sure they just sat me in the corner so like not everyone would just see me like crying buckets of tears while I read my book, because I don't care. It's fine. Then I recommended it to my waitress. It was great.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, that actually a little bit kind of sounds like it could be a meet cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is because like the way they meet is adorable. Like everything about their courtship is so freaking adorable. But you start at the end of their relationship, and then you see it back and forth, and it's structured really, really well. And like the only things I questioned about it were like her job at the library and technical little things that I was like, that's not how it works at the library. I work at the library, and that would never happen. So like, it's fine.
What is it called?
What's that? It's called Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh, that title hurts my heart.
I know. Yeah, it's Forever Interrupted, which makes it even more of a like.
No.
Yeah, it will make all of you cry. You're welcome.
I'm actually like hurting just from the title.
Yeah, just as I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. It's gonna be fine. I'll be okay. I'll just ask people for hugs after. It'll be okay.
I still can't figure out what my favorite is. I'm like scrolling like back and forth.
Are there a few that you really like?
Yes. So
tell us about all of them.
Okay, I loved Girls of Paper and Fire. I wasn't expecting to.
Find somebody else. Oh my god.
I freaking loved it. Like I wasn't expecting to, because everybody was kind of trash talking it, and I was like, this is like the shit. And
videos came out after I read it, and I was like, I thought it was fine, bro.
Yeah, like I loved it. Like, and the loving, like I don't often like care at all about like the romance in like a book. Like I usually am just like, I really couldn't care less if you die, if you don't ever get together. I would care if there's a stupid argument and that was the reason, but like I usually don't care about romances or like ship things strongly, but like I was all up into that. Yes, I loved it. And so that was one of them. Let's see. Children of Blood and Bone, I also wasn't expecting, because I feel like there was a handful of people that were like, this doesn't have any character, or I don't know. There was like several people that were kind of like not liking that book, and I don't know if it was just because like Tommy made a mistake about that, or if they were like legitimately didn't like it or what. But like,
she made a mistake way after I read it, so again, I can't be caring about that. Yeah.
And she's okay. She's like the same age as I am. I do stupid crap. If people do stupid things, they make mistakes. That's just me. Okay. But besides that, I'm judging her writing, not her character. And I can see why people like might not have liked certain things. Certain things were predictable. Certain things were like insta love or whatever. But like, also insta love, I feel like happens more often in like tragedies, because when you go through something tragic with someone, you cling to them quicker. And I honestly found it, I couldn't put it down. Like I was really into the book. And also like with the Avatar like inspiration in there, like I saw it, but I didn't feel like it was overly done. I felt like it was good. I liked it.
I heard some people say that it wasn't diverse enough.
Okay.
And I was like,
People need to chill. They need to take a nap.
That's like people when they were saying Black Panther wasn't diverse enough, and I'm like, okay, so like the characters themselves might not look very different from each other, but if you put this book beside the majority of the books on your shelf, the book itself is diverse.
I was
And
just
then, and also the people in it come from different social classes. They have different abilities. They have different strengths. They have different ways of thinking. Personally, I feel like that's diversity for me. Like, it's not.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people. This is going to be harsh. I'm realizing that I'm sounding harsh. It's because I'm tired. I think sometimes people willfully miss the point a little bit. And it's in part because they're probably too wrapped up in their own separate point that they're trying to make. And it's just like, y'all, I can't ever. Just everyone needs to take a nap.
I just don't understand. Like, what? Like, I don't. Are Black people not diverse? So if Black people,
and I mean, I feel like, yeah, it also says something that, like, I kind of wonder about. I'm really struggling today. I've been thinking about like who gets called out, so to speak. Like, who are we directing the majority of our criticism to, and what does that look like? And so, like, why is that? Why are you elevating this idea of diversity in a moment where a book or a movie or whatever was released that isn't released very often? Like, why is that how you're framing the conversation in this moment? And it's just, it's really, it's frustrating.
I was just like, when I have Children of Blood and Bone, I haven't read it yet, but I have it. And then, like, I'm hearing all these people talk about, oh, like, you know, the writing's not that good. Oh, it's not diverse enough. And I was just like, what? Like, what does that even
What connotation are you using the word diverse? Because it sounds like you're doing like it wrong.
Sounds wrong.
I don't know. I'll pick it up like everything here. I will pick it up eventually. But like,
I like it when you pick it up.
But I hear it's amazing. Like,
I loved it.
But I don't know. It's crazy. I was just curious on your point of view on if it was diverse enough, you know.
Diverse
like
enough.
There's even like diversity in like the ages presented. Like, there's like a ton. Not even just. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't. Okay, but like, I understand. Like, I don't. There's a lot of books that I've liked that a lot of people don't like. Like, The Surface Breaks. Do y'all know? You know that book?
I will hang up this right now if you like that book. Like, I'm gonna hang up.
Wait, if you say that you like it or don't like it.
Okay, wait. Let me preface this right quick. I gave it 3 stars, so it was fine.
Yes.
But for it to be being pushed as a feminist retelling of Little Mermaid, that was a lie. It's a lie. That main character, just like most main characters in most YA fantasy books, she was impulsive. You can't, like, I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of feminist. When I think of feminist, I think of like some badass Wonder Woman ass bitches. Like, I'm like, yo, we in there. What's up? But when I think of The Surface Breaks, I was like, yo, she just didn't give a fuck about anything. She saw, Eric. That wasn't Eric, obviously, but she saw Eric and was like, fuck everything. What's up? Like, I'm gone. And then, like, she's sitting up here, spoilers. Everybody, spoilers. I'm sorry. Spoilers. She's sitting up here freaking basically her feet fucking falling off over this dude. Like,
turning into mush. Okay, let me just say, I liked the end of it.
Okay.
I loved the end of it and the way it ended. There's certain criticisms I did not agree with. I agree that it's not I don't feel like it should be classified as feminist. I will say this. What was I saying? Ursula, the Ursula character. They were like, the book is fat phobic because of the Ursula character. I'm like, but she explains that she is living in her body as it is, and that character herself, I feel like she is the feminist. Like, she is the awesome character.
Yes.
And like, so that's what I liked about it. Like, I don't even really remember anything about the main character. I remember her, and I remember them I liked how like the main character, and like those creatures that turned into mermaids because of trauma or dying at sea from something terrible.
Mhm.
I feel like her hating them is so much like how women are kind of pinned against each other all the time.
Yeah.
And at the end, she like became one that like, well, sorry, oops, spoiler, but like the end, like she understood, and it was like I liked the end part.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, it would have been like 2. But like the end for me wanted me to like kick a man in the face. I don't know. So,
guys, like no, that that was. I think it was advertised wrong. Like
yes, I agree with that.
If it wasn't advertised as a feminist retelling of The Little Mermaid, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I went into it with everybody saying it's a feminist retelling of Little Mermaid. I was like, dope. What? Super dope. So that I go into it like, yo, this bitch is about to be Wonder Woman in the ocean. Like, what's up? Like, and no.
I haven't read it, but now I feel like I probably don't have to. So there's
no, you should read it. Read
it.
I still gave it 3 stars. So.
Okay, I didn't even know about it, so like you weren't ruining anything for me.
Is this the one that Spencer from Common Spence talked about? I can't remember the title. Is it
the one that he uses a glove to hold?
Okay,
because it's hot garbage. It hurts me.
Yeah, he really hated that one. Man, hearing you describe that, and then thinking back to like, I was surprised by his review of I'm kind of surprised by his review of Seafire then, but
honestly, here's my opinion on that situation. I feel like most of the guys that read it, I feel bad for saying that, like, didn't get that part of it, and then I feel like hello puppy. I feel like a lot of people kind of went with those strong voices. I don't feel like everybody did, but I feel like a lot of people when they a strong voice in the community says something that a lot of people are inclined to agree. Not always, but I do feel like that. Like I feel like, if someone like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone I really enjoy watching. There are several, but like if someone who's like, pretty, prominent in the community says something, my brain automatically wants to agree with them because I love everything that they do, and I would, wash their feet. I don't know. And so like I just love them. And so I'm more inclined to agree with them. So I feel like if
the Halo effect, isn't it? No, it's not. Is it the Halo? Because the Halo effect is the thing that lets people like kind of get away with not doing as great because you like them so much. Or maybe that still applies. Maybe the Halo effect is transferred to books. I'm sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. No, but like that's what I feel like. I don't know. I feel not that I don't think people can think for themselves. I think everybody can think for themselves. But I feel like people hate it more because of that. Like even I had like my rating set, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, and then I moved it. And I was like, no, why did I do that? That's not how I feel about it.
No, it wasn't hot garbage. It wasn't that. Yeah. It was an entertaining book. Definitely. Yeah. I just feel like it was advertised wrong. If it wasn't advertised like that, I wouldn't have gave it that. I wouldn't have gave it a 3-star. I probably still would have gave it 3-star. But it wasn't bad. It was just advertised wrong. Like, don't tell me that this is a feminist retelling of The Little Mermaid. I don't even like The Little Mermaid like that anyways, but don't tell me that. And then I go into it and it's like, nah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, liars. Like, that's liars. Like, so that's it was fine though. It was fine.
Okay. Out of curiosity, that kind of reminded me of something. What is like the biggest advertising lie that you received about a book? Like, is there one that sticks with you? Because there's one that sticks with me, and every time I think of it, I'm like, why did you, like, who's your publicist? Why did they frame it this way?
What do you think?
Just run to Goodreads. Like, what?
I'm like just looking at this is why I love to like own my books, because I just like to look around and be like,
Exactly. I was like, wait, hold on, let me see.
So I think I know what mine is, but I'm scared to say it. So
while they're looking, I'm gonna say mine and just get it off my chest.
Do it.
That anger simmering out, and it's The Bone Season, which was described as for people who loved Harry Potter. It was just meant to like the next Harry Potter, which is so off. Off.
I literally
I'm upset. I'm upset right now. Just a little. But
I honestly feel like every time someone says, hey, it's like Harry Potter. And I'm like,
No, it's not.
I feel like at least some of them, it's like, they're trying, like, there's a magical school and, the kids are going through it and they're aging up. And I'm like, okay, but, like, probably still not your best choice to compare it to. But this one, if you've read The Bone Season, who wrote that? I have questions.
It is very popular, especially nowadays, to like compare things to Harry Potter or even like mention Harry Potter in the text, which I don't have a problem with. But if you're going to compare yourself to something that like is the be all and end all of whatever you're talking about,
Right.
it doesn't help you. Like
No.
my
Doesn't
roommate
help.
specifically has a big problem with like when we're watching a movie or a show and it references a better movie or a show that is like it. It just lets you think about the better thing and then you like the thing a little bit less while you're reading or watching it. Like, don't reference things that are better than you in your same category. It's a bad plan.
Yeah.
compare us to this.
Absolutely. Like, I would never, if I ever got published, I would never be like, if you like Neil Gaiman, you can like my book. Never.
Like, if you like Neil
No.
Gaiman, make
Listen.
me my friend.
At most, I'd be like, one time Neil Gaiman looked at my book, and that was a big deal. Like, that would be
Yeah.
If he sneezed on me in an airport, I would cry.
right.
Like, I'm trying to think. I feel like the thing that was probably most poorly. Okay, I feel bad about saying this because I actually enjoyed the book, but I didn't. Okay, so A Blade So Black, I read this month and I loved it. Like, I really enjoyed the book. I can see Alice elements, but and like it's based on Alice in Wonderland, but I wouldn't call it a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. You know, because I feel like retellings it kind of follows a similar plot. And this plot was completely different. It was very good and it was very well done and it pulls in a lot of elements from Alice in Wonderland, but it wasn't really I don't really feel like it was a retelling.
Well, I feel like that doesn't like I don't feel like publishers should do that or people should do that because like you also push people away from you know what? I got an answer to your question.
Yes.
The original one. I got an answer. Fucking stalking Jack the Ripper.
Just
I love how you tapped it for emphasis.
No.
That's funny.
No. Hell no. But anyway.
Oh, she said, did they call it a reimagining? That would be more accurate. I think I don't know if it was advertised like by the publisher this way, but this is how I saw other people saying it. Someone said that. Sorry.
But
it was Desiree. I think.
Yeah, hell no. But not like I feel like that like when publishers do that, that also hurts them because as soon as they said that Blade So Black was like a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, I was like, nope, not picking that up. Like, because I don't like Alice in Wonderland, so I'm not gonna intentionally pick up something that I know I did not like. Like, I don't like Alice in Wonderland at all. So
which is interesting for me because like I don't read a lot of classics, but I find that I love reading retellings of things, even if I haven't read the source material. Like I like reading the retelling, so at least I'll kind of know the references because like there are certain things that like before Sweeney Todd became a movie, I knew what that was about and I have no idea. And I actually read the book before it became a movie and I saw the play while I lived in Dublin. It's there. But like you hear Sweeney Todd and you're like, oh, that one where people eat people. Like, and for some reason I already knew that, even though I had never read the book at that point. I had never seen the play, never seen the musical, never seen the movie, anything like that. So like I like knowing the references that we have in classics, but I hate reading classics. Like it's the vocabulary thing. If I read a sentence, I legitimately have no idea what that sentence means. It loses me, and I would rather just read a retelling of something, and I don't have to have read the source material. It's fine. Like, I read a book that was basically Jane Eyre in space, and I was like, perfect, I'll read this.
Oh, Brightly Burning.
Yeah, that's the one. And also Jane Steele. I really like Jane Steele, where Jane Eyre is a murderess. And I was like, I've never read the original. I don't care. I'm reading it. And I really liked those books. But if I tried to read Jane Eyre, it would not work out. It won't. Sometimes I don't like retellings, like when Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, adding zombies. I still didn't like the book because I still don't care. But on a whole, I really like seeing retellings of things because then I feel like I've kind of read the source material, but I haven't read the source material most of the time.
I totally agree with that in the sense of like, I would probably prefer a retelling versus a source material. So, but at the same time, like saying that also like puts a negative to it if you didn't like the source material. Like I will not pick up intentionally any Jane Eyre retelling unless it's a spoof, like with the whole My Plain Jane or whatever. Like if it's like a spoof or whatever, then that's a different thing for me. But because I did not like Jane Eyre, like because it kept saying like fucking fortnight, and I'm like, what the fuck is a fortnight? Like I don't know what that is. Like
Isn't that 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Oh my god, I had a moment where I thought you were talking about the modern update and it was referencing Fortnite the game. I have never played Fortnite. I'm not interested in it at all, but it has like impacted the common cultural consciousness so much that even that's the first thing I think of when I think of Fortnite now. Thanks, I hate it.
That's funny.
Sorry, Princess, if you play it.
So on the subject of classics, like what is everybody's favorite classics?
I don't have one.
Ooh,
Fair.
Frankenstein is good. I like.
Yeah, Frankenstein was my
That was
favorite.
my favorite classic.
But then I reread it like this month, and
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I haven't read it since I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, same. And then I reread it this month, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of problems.
I really remember liking reading The Picture of Dorian Gray when I was like 15.
I have that book.
Because that's back when I would try to read classics, and that one I actually really enjoyed. But also, I read a lot of Oscar Wilde's plays as well.
Yeah.
Well,
oh yeah,
one of them and read a couple other ones. So like, I had some reference to how his humor works, and I'd seen some of his humor like acted out on stage. So that probably helped me read it. But also, he's probably closer to our vocabulary and just so damn witty that like I got it more easily than like I didn't know that a lot of Pride and Prejudice was supposed to be sarcastic. If I knew that, I probably would have liked trying to read it, but I did not.
Really?
So
I wanted to read Oscar Wilde really bad after we went to Ireland, and then like I started Picture of Dorian Gray, and I stopped, and I don't know why, because I really liked his writing, but I ended up stopping for some reason.
it happens.
I have that book. I need to read that. But anything mythology, like any type of mythology, I'm fucking with. Like any mythology. I have a whole book that has like Chinese mythology, Greek mythology, Indian mythology, like anything like it's a whole book, and like whenever somebody says any type of reference to any type of mythology, I like pull that book out and be like, what are we talking about? Like,
oh, I would like to see you puzzle out all the gods and American gods then, because some of them are hidden.
Really?
I love that was my favorite thing about that.
Yeah,
we have like a pretty thick mythology section here.
Anything with mythology, I'm here for. I have so many books just based on different cultures' mythology. I'm here for. As far as any other classic, like I'm slowly getting through them. Slowly. I just read Rebecca last 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
How was it? Because I've heard great things, but again, I'm like, do I want to?
I'm gonna go ahead and turn this way.
Yeah. You do what you need to do, princess.
Do you know what? Speaking, I don't know if this is like a classic in the more traditional sense, but like I guess a modern classic, and it's really a children's book. And that's wow.
What'd she say?
Harry Potter.
No, not Harry Potter. This is I'm having such a weird sensation right now where I can remember she wrote A Swiftly Tilting Planet. It's the more famous one. I literally talked about it earlier today. A Wrinkle in Time. Oh my god.
I was like, I also was like, it's A Wrinkle in Time, but I can't think of the thing. Yes, you got it. You're good.
I'm looking at that one. I haven't read that one yet.
As I've said, today has been a day. I reread that one recently, and I was disappointed.
I read it when I was like 10 and remembered enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I reread it and I was like, I don't really like Meg. She's okay, I guess, but like, just kind of a snotty annoyance.
Yeah, and some of the messages, I was like, this is a little too, like, I want to be tricked more. Like, listen, authors, you can feed me all the themes you want, but you have to trick me first. If you can't trick me, I'm gonna be resistant.
You gotta trick me first. You gotta trick me, right?
Right. Like, I am the kid who was not taking the medicine. You better, like, wrap it in some delicious food, like, put it in a pie or something. I don't know. This is getting
Spoonful
out
of
of
sugar,
control.
that shit.
Oh my God. The Phantom Toll Booth.
Mm.
Oh, fun fact. When I read that at little bitty Leah in elementary school, that was the one book I was sorely tempted to steal from my school's library. I remember having thoughts about it, and I was like, "No, Leah, we can't." But there was a moment. It was like the end of the year, no one was around.
That movie taught me how to spell February.
There you
I
go.
haven't read the book yet, but I've watched the movie. I loved so much. I have the book. It's right here. I can actually touch it.
Oh, it's a great children's book.
What's that one about? I've heard about it many times, but not actually what it is.
Fantastical.
So it's kind of, there's like a lot of absurdity to it. God, it's been so long since I've read it now, but like basically this boy who kind of goes with the Phantom Toll Booth into this other land, and there are like a lot of puns with words and numbers. It's one of those books that's like teaching kids as they're going on this kind of absurd, very silly adventure.
Okay. Yeah, I would read that.
A lot of like,
like
yeah,
Eagle.
clever little wordplay. My partner taught it to kids who speak English as a second language, and I guess they're learning it. He taught it in another country, and just you don't think about how hard it is to explain some plays on words until like you suddenly have to. You're like, well, it's even harder because like the kids are, for a lot of it, that it was probably above their reading level. They were probably a little young for it. So a lot of it was like they hadn't fully grasped the like literal meaning or like the sentence structure. And so then to add on top of that, like, well, it means that, but it also doesn't, was like a challenge.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. I just oh, sorry. I just saw that Night Circus has a director.
Yay.
Ooh.
I got really excited because I love
Oh, I think that'll be a really good movie.
Mhm.
I didn't know it was going to become a movie, but I think it'll be good. Or a series.
I haven't read it yet. I've read it.
It's so good. It's very magical. I was gonna ask you another question. Oh, what is which book did you read this month that was you didn't expect to read? One that you just like kind of picked up on a whim that you didn't expect to read, if there is one.
This one.
Sadie.
Oh.
Ooh.
I picked it up on a whim. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I walked in here, was like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, you're not doing anything else outside of not reading, so might as well. So I picked it up, and I read half of it physically, and then like everybody talks about the audiobook and stuff. So I was like, okay, like I'll read the rest on audiobook and stuff. So I did that, and I will say that the audiobook adds another level to the book. I will say Sadie has a stutter, and it's done really well on the audiobook and stuff. And it's like painfully good on the audiobook. It's like, okay, so she like legit, like the stutter is really, really good. And the book was good and stuff. I gave it, I want to say I gave it 3 stars. I want to say, because I didn't like the ending. Like half of the world didn't like the ending. The other half was like, oh yeah, the ending. Like I didn't like the ending. So yeah, I picked it up, and I didn't think I would like. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I have no idea. But I was thinking it's very painful, and the trigger warnings are real, like real trigger warnings with this.
Yeah. I really enjoy that book, and I wish that my library had the audiobook because it just doesn't. And I'm like, but I've heard such good things, and I've heard that the production of the podcast is like really well done, which makes me so sad because my library does have the audiobook for I Know You Know, which is another one that has a podcast element. But the annoying thing about the way that audiobook is produced is every time it's talking about like, oh, I met this person in this busy cafe and we recorded this clip, and then you hear the transcript of the clip. There's no like cafe sounds. And I'm like, friend, you can't go to a busy cafe and not have like clinking spoons and children screaming at random and like whoever wrote this book doesn't know what a podcast is or how sound engineering works. Like, I don't
environment.
understand. So like, I was so annoyed by that, but I heard that in the Sadie one, like they actually did sound effects and stuff. So I was like, why can't I listen to that one, library? Why?
I listened to it on Scribd.
Yeah, I don't pay for things. I'm poor.
Oh.
Which, fair. I guess I'm complaining for all the free things I'm getting, so fair enough. But yeah.
I think I have like 6 like Audible credits. I could send you one, I think, or something.
They probably don't go cross-border, but if they do, I'll hit you up for one.
Wait, what about like I wonder if Libby can transfer if you want to like. I think I have Sadie and Gold. If you want to borrow from like my library.
My library does have no, my library doesn't have Libby anymore because we transferred everything to Cloud Library. So yeah, if you want to send me your library credentials later, maybe I will be able to log into Libby on your account and listen to Sadie. That would be great. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yes, loopholes.
Yes.
Leah, did you have any surprising reads?
I wasn't expecting to pick this book up, A Monster Calls. I just picked it up randomly from the library because it was available in there. I think actually probably quite a few books I wasn't expecting to read. I'm very like loosey-goosey with my TBRs if I even make them. Because, and I think it's partly because like so much of my job is very precise planning. So my personal life, for my hobbies, I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I feel like when I feel like it because, you know, it's like, should be casual. So I think probably a lot of my books, I wasn't initially Sandman, I wasn't planning on reading.
I love Sandman so much.
Yeah. It's quite good. It's super like, some of the drawings, I was like, wow, we went full 80s there. Like we went straight for it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was written a long time ago, so there's that. But yes, I love it.
Did you have one, Kathy? Did you already say one?
No, I haven't. I picked up a couple of things that I wasn't expecting to read just because, like, I got to the end of what I needed to read, and I was like, ooh, I have more time, hooray! One of the things was, and I'm such a nerd for doing it, was The Untold Story of the Talking Book. So I listened to an audiobook about audiobooks because that's the type of person I am.
That's great.
It was actually pretty interesting. It was a little bit repetitive because it went through the history of audiobooks in North America and also in the UK. And a lot of that history is like shockingly overlapping. So I feel like those two sections could have been combined and just like cherry picked what you were talking about, but it was fine. It was very interesting. I'm a nerd, so I definitely enjoyed it. And then I finished my Contemporary-a-thon TBR really quick because the Tuesday of that week was a snow day where I live because we live in a temporal rainforest and we don't get snow. So when we get snow, like shit goes down, things close. I didn't have to go to work that day. So I ended up picking up a book called In Sight of Stars, which was a mental health read about this guy who, like, as you're just first meeting him, he's going through a crisis and he's just been hospitalized and you don't really know why and you don't know all of the backstory. And then it kind of goes through that as he's dealing with it in therapy. And I feel like it was probably very well done, but he, at the beginning, was having these hallucinations that just kind of went away and he never told anyone about. And that makes me like very wary to actually tell people to read it because I don't know what the mental health side of that is and if that could have been better dealt with or explained or anything like that. But it had some twists in it that I appreciated and didn't see coming until like just before they were happening, which was nice. But yeah, I didn't expect to pick up another book and I did and ended up sort of enjoying it. So it was good.
That's awesome. I think mine was, I ended up picking up Elevation by Stephen King. And it's like a really short Stephen King book. Like, it's really, really short. But I said it on Twitter, but like I used to live on a street called Elevation something. Elevation something. And my neighborhood was Castle Rock. So, and that's like where Stephen King universe is. And I was like, well, I have to read this book. And it wasn't like a horror book. It was very but it was very paranormal, kind of like very bizarre. And I really enjoyed that. I was kind of surprised by it, but I enjoyed it for like a small, short little book. it definitely read like a short story. But it was good. I was surprised to read. I didn't really expect to read anything like that this month. So, that one was that.
Did it feel like I remember reading 1408 and it just felt sparse. Like it felt like it could have been more. And apparently it's because he developed it from like a class exercise that he'd been doing. So it wasn't even like a story that he was originally intending to write. Did it feel like it was just like not quite like he didn't intentionally write it as a short story, if that makes sense, or like it didn't start out that way, or it was a bit sparse?
My issue with it personally was I mostly read science fiction, fantasy, and this felt very much like a contemporary with something just bizarre thrown in, which is I know a lot of what he writes is like that. There wasn't like a ton of plot, and it doesn't get super deep with the characters, in my opinion. Someone else might disagree with that, but I just didn't feel like the characters had a lot of depth.
It's funny to hear somebody be like, this Stephen King wasn't fleshed out and long enough, because like half the time I'm just like, Stephen King doesn't have an editor, and it really bothers me.
Yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you ever tried to read The Body, the one that Stand By Me is based on?
No.
Because there's this whole chapter where, for no reason, the main character flashes forward to when he's in college and just info dumps a story that he writes in college in there, and you don't learn anything new from this story at all, and it has nothing to do with the plot of what you're actually reading. And I'm just like, Steven, you need an editor who will tell you this is fine, but it doesn't need to be here. Like,
Yeah. I've been wanting to like just kind of get a taste of his writing, because I have a couple of Stephen King books I haven't read, and I kind of just wanted to get a little bit of a taste, because I've read like a little section of it before. And I was like, I really love his writing style, so I'm gonna buy some books by him. But then I like, this one's not covered in chocolate, and then I didn't. There's like a straight up peanut with no chocolate on it, and it's just very sad. Leah.
I'm sorry, you can't hold me accountable for this, or shoot the messenger, please.
But yeah, but like I really do. I have a couple that I'm really excited about like getting to. My favorite, the one that I'm most excited about getting to by him is Insomnia. It's like some guy that stops being able to sleep, because I feel like it's gonna be like Nod, which I like.
The one that I was really excited about was the Gunslinger.
Yes.
That world sounded so fascinating. I've only read the first one at this point, and I felt underwhelmed.
I mean, that one was written originally, that one was written very early in his career. It was originally published in a magazine. And then people were just like, this world is really fascinating, please write more. And then over 30 years, he wrote the 7 books, and then he wrote another book that kind of goes sort of in the middle later. But like, it is super fascinating. I read probably all of the main 7 in about 6 months, like after everything had been released. And I have a tattoo from it. So, there's that.
Okay, so keep going then.
I mean,
and the concept was really cool, and I think he did some cool things there, not just with the world, but like plot-wise or with the characters.
Yeah. And it goes in very, very different ways everywhere. Like, there is something that happens in probably like, I don't know where it is, 4th or 5th book that many of the fans were like, what even are you doing? And I'm like, of course Stephen King is doing this. He's the only writer that could get away with doing something like this. So
yeah.
If you are actually interested in it, please keep reading so we can talk about it, because it's not his best known work. And the movie they made, I have to pretend doesn't happen, because it makes me really angry. So we're going to pretend it didn't happen.
There's so many books that like people always want to release books as a movie. My guess is because they think it'll be more profitable. And I'm like, most books are better as a short series. This is the hill that I will die on right here. Make it into a short series, you cowards.
Yeah, short series way better, especially with this series is so long that like, if you're not going to do a series of movies and you're just going to make one movie, just don't do it, because the movie they made was basically a ripoff of Harry Potter, and it was terrible. So,
what are we talking about?
We're talking about The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower is a movie that came out a while ago. Yeah. So the thing about that is The main character in the movie is the kid, Jake, and it just seems like another white kid finds out there's magic in the world and goes on adventures, and that's basically what the movie is. And in the book, the main character is Roland, who is played by Idris Elba. So originally when I saw the casting, I was like, holy crap, they're putting Idris Elba, a person of color, in this really big sci-fi main role. And then no, they made him a side character in his own goddamn movie. And I was like, are you friggin' kidding me? Are you serious right now? I'm so upset about it.
Yes, so cute.
Yeah, so mad.
And it was Idris. They really did. They like, oh, poor Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I love him too.
I love him
That's
so
like
much.
that's a mistake.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
No, I was hearing the conversation about elevation and stuff like that. I was like trying to mix up the salad, but I didn't want like.
I understand. That's a fair point.
I'm gonna like mute myself so they can't hear all the noise and stuff, and then like all I heard was like cowards making. I was like, wait, hold on. Wait. They are not talking about elevation no more. Hold the fuck up.
We moved on.
Yeah. I was saying that books should be made into like TV series more than they should be made into movies, more or less.
Yeah, unless it's just like a simple standalone book that you can like condense enough.
Yeah, there's some, but like a lot of them, I'm like, whenever they're like, we're gonna make a movie out of this, I'm like, do you know? Like, do you? But yeah.
I was gonna go ahead and announce the person who won my video challenge.
Oh yeah, do it.
Because like I will forget. She was here earlier, but I think she may have yes, my dog was like licking me. I think she may have gone. It was the return cart won my challenge. So I will contact you. Yes.
Congratulations to her.
So I will contact you about that.
Here's your name.
Who all is here currently? Type type something if you're here. Just say here. I don't know. And not us.
Oh, you said not us? My bad.
Yeah, not us. Good job.
Too late. Already get hearts.
Night Fear is here. Who else is here?
Okay. Good to know that I don't need to watch the Cell movie. I mean, like, Stephen King movies are usually disastrous. There's some really good ones, but a lot of them are not.
I really liked it, but that might have been totally colored by, I had the greatest experience watching it, like, its premiere at midnight. The crowd, like, I think a lot of people don't like it when the crowd talks, but the crowd was, like, reacting to the movie in a very funny way. Like, some of the comments they were saying and the screaming and laughter and clapping, I was like, if I could watch the next movie with exactly that crowd, I would do it.
So the 1990 version of It was my favorite movie when I was 4 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
what,
it was
Kathy?
my favorite. And then I really, really absolutely love that they broke it up into 2 movies because that movie was like 3 or 4 hours long. Like that book is 1,134 pages. Like it's too long for one movie. I really love that they broke it up. And not only did they break it up, but also the newer version is exactly 27 years after the first version, which is the amount of time between It or Pennywise reoccurring in Derry, which I'm just like, whoever planned that, you did such a good job between 1990 and 2017. Perfect. Yes. So happy that happened because I'm such a nerd.
I've never seen it.
Great.
I've never read the books. I'm terrified of clowns. I'm not fucking with it. So
I used to watch the movie all the time. I've read the book. I love Tim Curry, so there's that.
Tim Curry is great.
He is fantastic. He's also a really good audiobook narrator, and he narrates most of the series of Unfortunate Events books.
Does. And it's really funny because he makes one of the characters sound like Nigel Thornberry. And I think it was Uncle Monty.
Yeah, I think it might have been as well. Yeah.
It was so funny. And I was just like, and I didn't realize it was him narrating it. Like, I just didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden I was like, Tim Curry? What are you doing in my ears? Get out. You're not welcome here. I love him. I love everything about him. But, so there's that. I think I was gonna do a giveaway with whoever we have here, since we have 2 people here.
Yay.
I think we have 2 people that have replied. We've had several people in and out since
like
we've been here.
3.
And I know, like, all of our UK people are in bed if they're being,
Which, fair.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah. So good for them getting sleep. That's healthy. So for the 2 people that we have here, ooh, my watch is vibrating. Stop that. Okay.
Distracting.
Sorry. Yes, I want to send one of you a book from Amazon or Book Depository, but I gotta do a random drawing, so I'm going to do that real quick. So let's see, I got a random drawing here.
Drum roll. Very bad drum roll. Sleep, what's that?
Oh wait, now we have 3. Now we have 3 people.
Oh, we have at least 4 actually. There's Castle
else is here?
Library, Night Fear, Mommy Night Owl, and
That's the library is Princess.
yeah.
Thanks, Mommy.
I am Castle Library, yes.
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 Okay, so our winner is Night Fear.
No, it's Castle Library. What?
I mean, Castle Library.
Trying to rig things.
So Night Fear won.
It's Castle Library in our hearts.
Oh no, Levy Labra is. I didn't even see you for a second because you didn't say here. I thought you left.
Humans.
I'm so sorry. sorry. Night Fear won the giveaway, though, and sorry. Do you have Twitter? Do you have Twitter? I don't know.
I think they do. I feel like I saw them maybe on Twitter. I don't know.
Contact Kate on Twitter.
Yes. I'm just like typing and not saying anything. It's awkward. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Cool. We'll talk and we'll get things set up and we'll do it. Sorry, that was awkward. Okay. We'll get books to you. Okay.
We'll do it. Yes.
Anyway,
I'm Princess just sitting there eating her salad.
It's okay. Yes. I was eating. I don't want to say this word. I was eating chocolate covered peanuts for most of the live show, so you're good.
I'm eating Doritos and trying to do it quietly, but I have no idea if it's actually like the loudest thing in the world. So sorry about that.
I haven't heard it yet. So
no.
Good job with that. I was gonna do some games before we go, but I feel like we've been here a while and I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
So,
like, you still want to like finish?
Listen, we have established that I'm a grandma. It's like nearing my bedtime.
That's fair.
I think I talked over you, Kathy, and now Princess. I'm sorry. Please.
It's fine.
Here's the problem.
That's how it happens.
So I think it's time to sign off because I'm sleepy. Everybody else, I don't know if y'all are sleepy, but I'm like super sleepy. But I really appreciate everybody that was like involved with the live shows and with the Instagrams and with the video challenges and all of those things. I want to list everybody, but it's like a ton of people. So, and I don't have my sheet that has everybody listed on it in front of my face currently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put probably tomorrow night. I'm gonna link everybody's channels that did Instagram, Twitter sprints, video challenges, live shows, whatever. I'm gonna link them on here at some point tomorrow. And yes, I appreciate everybody that participated and made it happen, and everybody that did all this awesome stuff and read and sent books to people and all that good stuff. So, does anyone want to say anything before we go?
I want to thank Leah, and even though Sarah's not here, Sarah and Kate and stuff, I was like legit going through a really, really hard time in February. And I appreciate y'all reaching out to me to make sure I was okay. That means a lot. Like, I didn't even know I can get to that point. Like, I've never been to that point before. So I really, really appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody who joined and stuff. And I appreciate the sprints and all that good stuff. But like, it meant a lot to me. So I just wanted to say, I appreciate it very much. So
Well, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Your spirit is awesome, and you deserve to have a great month because I know you love Valentine's.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Black History Month fucking sucked, and Valentine's Day sucked. Everything sucked.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's terrible. I will say that I'm also, I was very excited when you joined and applied to be a host, and yeah, it's been so great having you. And of course, like I don't know where you store all of your charisma, but like just like you just like slide some over to me because like, oh man, every time I hear you talk, I'm like, I'm convinced.
I'm crazy. It's totally fine. I have all this energy constantly, and I'm tired all the fucking time. This is me tired constantly. I'm tired.
Oh my god.
It's
like whenever you talk about your schedule, I'm like, I'm gonna cry. So I don't know how you do it.
You gotta fake it until you make it. You gotta fake your body out and be like, you ain't tired. Get up.
Dance break all the time.
Hey, what's up?
Wow.
It cuts people out daily. It'll make you feel better.
It does help. It does help.
Yeah. It works.
I will agree with that. All right.
Good tips before we go to bed. Good life tips.
Yeah.
Yes. Good luck. My ears are hurting from these headphones too. So anyway, I really wish Sarah could have been here, but she's amazing, and I'm so glad that she was, an integral. And is that how do you say that word?
Integral.
Because I've always heard integral, but everybody on BookTube says integral. So now I'm like,
I say integral as well. Integral.
Okay.
Integral. Wait, what do I say? I don't know anymore. It's too late.
Everybody says integral. Okay.
Integral,
So anyway,
yeah.
everybody's been important.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'm tired. Okay. Thank you everybody for being awesome in this readathon and for participating and all that good stuff. I will get in touch with you, Night Fear, about your thing at some point between now and the weekend. We'll talk and we'll do things, book things. Anyway, so good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Night.
Bye.